We are back with our Tuesday night lives. So these calls are for our students and the members of my YouTube channel. If you are catching the replay and you want to join the community, go to the description, either book a lesson or join the YouTube membership, and we'll add you to the WhatsApp group. So we're going to get straight into the content. Thanks everybody for posting the questions in the WhatsApp group. Let's just have a look and see what we have here. So this is a good one, and this comes up a lot. So when I'm driving straight towards a junction with a green light and it turns amber, when I'm very close to the stop line, what should I do? I know I'm supposed to stop on an amber if I'm before the line, but if there's a car behind me really close and you think they might go into the back of you. So this one is important. So there's a lot of people making mistakes at traffic lights. So amber means stop unless it's unsafe to do so. In this scenario, it would be very unsafe for you to go heavy on the brake with another road user right behind. Usually when we approach a traffic light, we are supposed to check our rear view mirror to know what's happening behind us. So if something is really close, chances are they want to get through that light. So you don't want to go heavy on the brake at an amber when the person behind you wants to go through it. So in that case, it would be safer for you to keep going. So I'm going to just come. So you know you're supposed to stop at an amber if you're before the line. But again, if you're going 50 and you're coming to a light and it goes amber and you're before the line, but it would be really unsafe for you to go heavy on the brake. You would just go through that light. If you done that in your test, there wouldn't be any issues. You only stop at an amber when it's safe for you to stop and you have time to stop by the line. We actually done a mock test in a pre-test lesson, and recorded on YouTube, and you're going to see one of our members go through a red light. It was pretty funny. So what do we have next? Someone said this about the insurance disc. So this disc should be okay. Red Click do have kind of a blue tinge off their official disc. If it's an official disc and Red Click have sent that to you, there shouldn't be any issues in your driving test. I've seen plenty of them get through. It's just the ones that you print at home by yourself and it's black and white. I don't really understand why they're so fussy about this. If I was going to go to the hassle of frauding a document, I'd stick a bit of green ink in my printer. But they just are. I don't understand it. This should definitely be perfectly fine. I've seen a few of them. No issues with that. So I don't know. Everybody's asking me about blind spots there today, especially in the group. So this one just simply says, you can see it on the top of the screen there. Do we have to check blind spots when changing lanes? So yes, you do, but it's not the same type of blind spot as you do when you're moving off from a park position. When you're changing lanes, chances are you're going to be driving down the road, whether it's 50, 60, could be 100, could be 120 if you're on a motorway. So I'm just going to go back to that image there. You see I have it highlighted here. To check your blind spot when traveling at speed, take a quick sideways glance. So what you don't want to do when you're traveling at speed is what a lot of people do is this big look while they're traveling this direction. So when you're changing lane, mirror signal, assuming we're going into the right, before I turn in, it's a quick sideways glance and then move in. It's not a big look over your shoulder. Your mirrors will show you behind, you're looking beside. So I'm just going to go on. So a quick side to check the position of a vehicle that may have disappeared from your view in the mirror. Just another thing that I'm noticing there, just when I'm on lessons, What you don't want to do when you're driving, when you pass your full test and you're driving alone and you're on, say, a motorway or a roundabout, never drive side by side somebody, especially a truck or a van or a car with no back windows. You see the way if you were to check your blind spot in your peripheral vision, you can see out your windows, even your back window. A van doesn't have that luxury. If you're sitting just to the side of a van, the van's mirrors will show behind the van. It won't show beside. So that's why a lot of people can kind of get into collisions with vans because they're hiding in the blind spot. Never drive side by side somebody. Either get ahead of them or stay behind them, just not directly in their blind spot. That's very important. Now, what do we have next? So, what speed should do we need to approach roundabouts? I'm reading this live. What speed do we need to approach a roundabout? Um, so there's no correct answer to that. It depends on the roundabout. Like some roundabouts, for instance, if you go to Maple House, there are big roads, there are 60 roundabouts, and you have great visibility on approach. On one of them roundabouts, I would be traveling. I never look at my speedometer when I'm coming to a roundabout. You just go the speed that feels safe for what you're doing. So if it was Maple House, I would be in second gear, no matter how big the roundabout. I'd be looking to the right. If there's no cars coming, you would continue on in second. On the other hand, if you come to a roundabout and visibility is poor, even though it could be on a 50 or a 60 maybe, in that case, I would be reducing my speed more. I'd be staying on the brake until I do good observation. And only when I could see, I would come off the brake and continue on. Don't come off the brake too early at a roundabout. And next, is there a technique to do normal park? What's normal park? Parking on the side of the road? I think what you're trying to say here is to park on the side of the road, not reversing. So this is really hard to explain. I don't know what you see when everyone kind of does the same thing when they're parking at the side of the road. They do a pair, so it's always mirror, signal to the left, do a little bit of left steer. As you're getting close to the path, I look in my left mirror. I know a lot of people say use your wiper as a guide. I don't know how to do that. I've never done it like that. What I do is when I know I'm getting close to the curb, I'm looking a quick glance in my left mirror. Once it looks like I'm close to the path, that's when I would steer out to the right. But then when I'm looking in my left mirror, when I'm parallel with the footpath, that's when I would straighten my wheels. What not everybody, most people tend to do is so they get close, they steer right, and what they don't do is straighten the car when it's parallel in their mirror, and that's why the front of the car always swings out into the middle. So it's when you're in, you move out to straighten the back of the car. When it's straight, you have to straighten your wheels, and that's usually the mistake people make. It's they're not straight when they stop. Um, I can't see that my screen is in the way. So if we turning right and just before the right turn there is a car, I can get rid of my screen. Hold on, what do I do here? Boom. So if we turning right and just before the right turn there is a car, can we indicate before or after the car? So yeah, so that's why I don't really. Let me read that again. Hold on. When turning right and just before the right turn there is a car. Right. So I wouldn't. Sorry. So yeah, I know I'm turning right. Mirror signal. Move out from the park car. My signal is on for the turn. Forget about signaling around the car. You don't need to do that. So I'm coming to the turn. Mirror signal past the car. Usually. when there's a car parked opposite the mouth of the junction, people tend to cut the corner and come in at an angle. So it depends where the car is in this scenario. If it's back far enough where you can overtake the car and come back onto your side of the road, that's what you would do, and then go forward, look, and turn. If the car is parked opposite the mouth of the junction, you would be across the centre line in a housing estate, and just make sure it's straight up. When you're in line with the centre line, look and turn. All right. And just if you have any more questions, just make sure you put them into the comments there. So what else do I have? How do I improve my timing pulling out from junctions and roundabouts? Yeah, good question. So with this, it just depends. Like, first of all, if you're in an automatic, once you see a safe gap, the tester will expect you to get the car going. If you're only new to the manual, I'd have my clutch up to the bite that little bit sooner, even before I see a gap. And then the trick is just when you're rolling, just hold your clutch until you're actually rolling. Then you won't cut out. If you're in a manual and you're kind of cutting out, it's because you're seeing a gap and you're just coming all the way up off the clutch and you're cutting out. A good rule of thumb for coming out at a junction or a roundabout is if you would walk across, you would drive across. So if you look right and left, yeah, I think I will walk across the road here. That would be a good time for you to go. Are we allowed to use the horn in the test? So, yes, it depends on the context. It's not to tell somebody to move or to hurry up at a green light. So, the horn is to alert other road users of your presence. So, a time where you could use it now, it would be it would be highly likely you do it in your test. I've never had to do it before, but say you're driving down the road, there's a car reversing out of his garden, and say you're coming from the left side, and your man is looking out to the right, and he's going to just keep on reversing straight into your car. In that case, beep the horn. I hear the word for this in Portuguese today. What's it? The bazuna? You beep the horn to tell them, I'm here, stop reversing, you're going to crash into me. That's the time you would use the horn. Next we have when turning right or left just before we turn, do we need to recheck the left and right mirror? So yes, if you've ever done a lesson with me, I always say, especially for left mirror signal position, slow, second, before we turn, left mirror off the brake and turn. When you're turning right, yeah, of course. I don't really mention it too much in the videos because I don't want people looking in the mirrors when they're turning right. But obviously you don't want to just blindly go out a little side eye into your mirror. And then when you're in position, when the road opens up, that's when you would look to the right and turn. So yeah, so for left definitely, for right, they don't really look for it, but always when in doubt, just have a little check in your mirror. What do we have next? When approaching a mini roundabout and the first exit is at 12 o'clock, do we indicate left before entering the roundabout? So yeah, so this is a common question. So I'm coming to a mini roundabout. These usually happen in Raheny and Colester, especially, and Finglas. So yeah, I'm going straight through first exit. I have to say first. No one understands when I say first. So first exit. So exit number one. So even if it's straight through, left mirror, left signal on approach, and then keep your left signal on as you come through. Not sure how strict they are on that one. Next we have, what's the difference between the MSM and the MSMM technique? Apart from the extra I know I didn't read this probably. I know. Yeah, sorry. It's an extra mirror check when positioning the car. So there's two choices. Yeah, in the EDT logbook, in the EDTs, the RSA use MSMM. So it's supposed to be mirror, signal, mirror, and the last M is maneuver. That will break down into position, slow, and look. The reason why I say MSPSL is because the book I use is MSPSL, and it's the same thing. So MSM, that must be mean mirrors plural, so inside and then outside in the direction you're going, then signal, then the maneuver, position, slow, look. Whereas the RSA way is mirror, signal, mirror. So if I'm turning left, it will be inside mirror, left signal, left mirror. But when I'm doing the lessons, I just say mirrors inside, then left mirror, then signal. Both is correct. It's not that deep, really. But yeah, so it's usually MSMM or MSPSL. Next, we have, I need to disappear my screen there. When making a left-hand turn, we should leave a meter between the car and curb. Yeah, so I don't like when sort of people put a number and a distance. Like the the rule is reasonably close to the left when you're making a left turn. You don't want to be saying like it has to be exactly 1 meter because it's impossible to judge that. I can't even do exactly 1 meter myself. It's impossible to judge that. Just making sure you're reasonably close to the path. You don't want to be wide because it's a mark for position turn and left. And also you don't be too close because you'll clip the footpath. So it's never that exact. It's always just reasonably close. There's no exact numbers in this. Yeah, what else do we have? Well, long good questions. So at traffic lights, should we stop at the first solid white line when the lights are red? Yes, of course. If we are forced on approach, sorry, usually two solid lines at traffic lights. I think it's to allow the cyclists and other motorcycles in. So it depends. So some junctions when you come to them, it's when you're driving, it's always stop at the first line to you. The first line. Stop at the first line. It will never be the second one when you're coming to a red light. So some junctions have a next line, and that's for cyclists and motorbikes. And then other junctions will have another two lines, and that's for the pedestrian crossing. Some junctions will have none of that, and you just stop at the first line. Um, so yeah, but it's always the first line to you. Now, where am I gone? So apart from turnabout, reverse around the corner, moving off and changing lane, when do we check over our shoulder for blind spots? That's it. That's all. And I did record a YouTube short and a TikTok about this. By the way, I had permission off the girl to do that. I asked her could I use her text and her marking sheet. But yeah, she said she was driving down the road, excessively checking her blind spots, and the tester gave her 8 grade 2s. So if the tester failed her twice for over checking the blind spots, you don't need to do it. Moving off, doing Gosho, changing lanes, a sideways glance, and that's it. And then your maneuvers, your turnabout, you're not checking your blind spots. You're looking right and left, up and down the road. On the reverse around the corner, you do check your blind spot. But that's it. Do we have to put our indicator on when reversing around the corner? No signal for the reverse around the corner. Your reverse lights are enough indication. It's not wrong to do it, but you definitely don't have to. I don't think it's wrong to do it. Do you get marked down for stalling on the test? And if so, is it grade 1, grade 2, or grade 3? So I believe now, I don't know if they've brought it in yet. I think they've got rid of grade 1s. So it's only grade 2 and grade 3 now. In your test, it's not the end of the world if you stall or you cut the car out or conk out, depends whatever way you want to say it. Not the end of the world if you do it once. If you do it a second time and a few times after it, then it would become a problem. What they would do is they would mark you for the reason why you cut out. So if the tester felt you just jumped off the clutch and you cut out, it would be a grade 2 for clutch. Or if you cut out because you take the handbrake down, it would be a grade 2 for handbrake. They would mark you depending on the reason why you cut out. Do you know what I mean? So that's and yeah, they would be grade 2 faults if they started marking you for them. So what is the maximum and minimum distance you can have when parking, pulling up to the curb? So again, I don't like to put a number on these things. When you are parking at the side of the road, it is supposed to be reasonably close. So you just don't want to be parking and leaving a big huge gap between yourself and the footpath. Any more questions there, lads? Pop them into the comments there. Now what else do we have? So I can't read the top of that. What's that say? There. Okay. So sorry. There's stuff in the way in the top corner. Do all 3 maneuvers get asked to be performed in the test? Hill start, reverse around the corner, and turnabout. The reverse around the corner and the turnabout should be asked. The hill start, not so much. My dog's gonna bark. Sorry. Perfect timing as always. So for the maneuvers, yeah, you should be asked the reverse and the turnabout. The hill start, sometimes not. If you're in the test, if you're driving on a hill, that can be your hill start. Just sorry, the noise of that dog. Sky. Perfect timing as always. Sorry. With the hill start, if you're in the automatic, they might not do it. So next, can you do the turnabout in 5 points, or does it have to be 3? Yes, you can do it in 3 or 5 moves. What do you need to bring on the day of your driving test? What other preparations must be done to the car? Remove personal items, ensure L plates front and back. Yeah. So on the day of test, your car should be clean. Check all your lights are working, indicators, brakes in particular, making sure all the information in your window is valid and in date, insurance, tax, NCT, L plate clearly visible front and back. They will also be checking your tires, making sure your tires are not worn, make sure you have adequate tread depth, and making sure they're pumped up, properly inflated. And that's about it. And just bring your learner permit with you. You don't need your EDT logbook. I have a video for that on the homepage of the YouTube. Can you please show how to do hill start in the automatic car? Is it just the same as Gosho? Yes, definitely. The hill start in the auto is easy enough. It's just Gosho. If your automatic does tend to roll back, I know the Volkswagen Up would be a type of auto that would roll back. All you do is, before the handbrake comes down, set your gas, handbrake down, one more look, and you won't roll back. Can I use cruise control in the test? I don't know the answer to that, to be honest. During the gear change, most first to second or second to first, if the car jerks, will I get a fault? You potentially, yeah. If everything is supposed to be smooth, if it's real jumpy and jerky, after a while the tester will mark you for either gears for going into the wrong gear, or maybe accelerator for going too fast and then coming into the wrong gear. Just depends on the reason why it's jumpy. So I'm in a residential area and I'm driving straight, and there are cars parked on both sides and another car coming from the opposite way. In this situation, who has right of way? Even if I have even if I have the right of way, the other car and my car have the same distance to pass in our gap. In the situation, do I stop for him? So just remember, so when you're doing this, there's so many different scenarios here. It's not always as easy as there's a car parked on my side, I give way, and the car goes. Sometimes there'll be cars parked on both sides. Just the person who can get out of the way easiest usually goes first, or the car in the middle will go first. So if there's cars parked on both sides, but the other guy is in the middle already, stop and let him come down through the middle. Don't force yourself into the middle with somebody already in the middle. So the person in the middle goes first in that scenario. If both of you stop on the left, let the other person make the first move. If they flash it, mirror, signal, and go for it. Don't be too slow there and make it more confusing. Jordan, the reverse around the corner. A car approached from front and I stopped for him, but the also stopped even though can pass. When I started the reverse, jeez man, also started to move forward. Do I stop in this? I had to read these live. Just during the reverse around the corner, a car approached from the front. Don't stop for them. The only stop for the cars approaching from behind. When I started to reverse, they also started to move forward. Don't stop for the cars coming ahead of you until they're beside you. You don't need to. It's only the cars driving up from behind that you stop for. Uh, the test I give, suppose the test I give a direction and I forget or didn't notice. Can I ask the tester again for a direction? Or the tester hasn't given a direction as I'm approaching the T junction? The tester's not going to not give you a direction. It's one of their only jobs is to tell you where to go. They're not going to not tell you where to go. So that shouldn't happen. If you don't hear them, just yeah, but you don't make a habit of keep on saying, oh, left is it or right is it? Just listen and do it. You know what I mean? Just try not be just listen to what you have to just focus for half an hour. That's all it is, you know what I mean? Um and usually when they give a direction, whether it's left or right, so if they say left, mirror signal left. If you get to the end of the T junction, say, where am I going again? Look at your signal, you've already done it. And they won't forget to tell you where to go. Do I not have one more from Maria there? I thought there was one more there. What did you say, Maria? You said, oh, sorry, yeah. I thought I pasted that in the end. I mustn't have said. So again, I think you asked me checking blind spots when you're stuck in traffic. So it's don't not do it, just but you don't need to. You know what I mean? Like as I always say, left mirror, right mirror, and off you go. Your peripheral vision will show you pedestrians walking either side of you. You are like paying attention, and you're not just only looking ahead and nowhere else. Your peripheral vision helps you with all that, but you don't need to go blind spot before you move off in traffic. It's not necessary. I think that yeah, I have no more slides there. So yeah, well done, well done. Thanks for the question. So there's a few comments there. How you doing, Maria? So best of luck to yourself. I know you're coming soon on Thursday. How you doing? Good evening.